Najprej bo spregovorila gostiteljica današnjega obiska, predsednica Republike Slovenije. Gospa predsednica, prosim, izvolite.
Hvala lepa, Nejc. Spoštovani predsednik Republike Litve Gitanasa Nausëda, spoštovani predstavniki medijev. Veseli me, da danes v Sloveniji na delovnem obisku gostim predsednika Republike Litve Gitanasa Nausëdo. Litvo in Slovenijo povezujejo odlični in prijateljski odnosi. Med državama ni odprtih vprašanj, sodelovanje pa uspešno poteka tako na dvostranski ravni kot v okviru Evropske unije, Zveze NATO in Organizacije združenih narodov. Obisk predsednika Nausëde je še posebej pomemben v luči priprav Litve na predsedovanje Svetu Evropske unije v prvi polovici leta 2027. Sloveniji je nedvomno v interesu tesno sodelovanje z Litvo pri iskanju odgovorov na ključne evropske izzive. Pogovarjala sva se o prihodnosti Evropske unije, njeni odpornosti, konkurenčnosti in varnosti. Strinjala sva se, da je v času velikih geopolitičnih sprememb evropska enotnost izjemno pomembna. Posebno pozornost sva namenila širitvi Evropske unije. Slovenija ostaja trdna zagovornica širitve na Zahodni Balkan. To ni le politični proces, temveč pomembna naložba v mir, stabilnost in varnost celotne Evrope. Govorila sva tudi o nadaljnjem napredku Ukrajine in Moldavije na njuni evropski poti. Izmenjala sva poglede na aktualne mednarodne razmere, predvsem na vojno v Ukrajini, razmere na Bližnjem vzhodu in varnostne izzive v naši soseščini. Slovenija ostaja zavezana mednarodnemu pravu, učinkovitemu multilateralizmu ter prizadevanjem za mirno rešitev sporov. Dotaknila pa sva se tudi gospodarskega sodelovanja. Veseli me, da gospodarska menjava med državama raste. Dodatne priložnosti pa vidiva predvsem na področjih digitalnih tehnologij, umetne inteligence, farmacevtske industrije, energetike in obrambnih tehnologij. Predsedniku Nausëdi se zahvaljujem za odprt in konstruktiven pogovor ter se veselim nadaljnega sodelovanja med Litvo in Slovenijo. Hvala lepa, gospod predsednik.
Hvala, gospod predsednik. Beseda je vaša, izvolite.
Dear President Nataša Pirc Musar, ladies and gentlemen, it is great pleasure to be in Ljubljana and to begin my visit to the Western Balkans here in Slovenia. Although we have met many times in multiple formats and summits, I am especially pleased to have our in-depth bilateral meeting, which allows us to focus directly on our shared priorities. Lithuania highly values the friendship with Slovenia. Although our countries are geographically distant, we are united by shared European Union and NATO membership and a strong commitment to the principle that Europe's strength lies in solidarity. At the same time, my dear wife Diana Nausėdienė is participating in the Blood Water Forum together with your spouse, Dr. Aleš Musar. I am confident that this parallel engagement also contributes to the deepening of our bilateral relationship and cooperation on responding to current global challenges. Today, President Pirc Musar and I had an excellent discussion on bilateral cooperation, regional developments, and of course the future of Europe. We exchanged views on broader security challenges and NATO's collective defense, sincerely thanking Slovenia for its contribution to allied deterrence, including NATO's enhanced forward presence battle group in the Baltic region, a clear expression of solidarity and shared responsibility that strengthens our collective security and long-term deterrence posture in the region. We highlighted opportunities to deepen economic cooperation in innovation, financial technologies, AI, life sciences, advanced manufacturing, and defense industries, sectors where our countries can create mutual advantage. I invited Madam President to come to Vilnius with a business delegation.
And I said yes.
You see, how simple is that? We discussed the European integration of the Western Balkan countries. Slovenia plays a key role in supporting the region's European perspective. EU enlargement remains a priority for Lithuania. Maintaining momentum for Ukraine and Moldova is equally crucial. But we are very supportive to possible membership of Western Balkan countries, namely Albania and Montenegro too. This shared agenda naturally leads to Lithuania's priorities during its upcoming presidency of the Council of the European Union. Looking ahead to Lithuania's presidency in 2027, first half of 27, our vision is a stronger, more secure and resilient European Union that delivers tangible results for its citizens. We will focus on security and defense, enlargement, competitiveness and economic resilience, internal security, and long-term demographic and social challenges. Europe will not be judged by the ambitions it declares, but by the decisions it delivers. The next multi-annual financial framework must provide sufficient resources to invest in defense, military mobility, critical infrastructure, innovation, and competitiveness, including completing the single market and reducing remaining barriers. We will also make Europe's economy stronger and more resilient by deepening the capital markets union, boosting investments through the investment union, and simplifying regulations, ensuring that Europe remains a global leader in innovation and competitiveness. Finally, we reaffirmed that Ukraine's security is inseparable from Europe's security. We will continue providing military, financial, and political support, increase pressure on Russia, and advance Ukraine's European Union integration. There can be no lasting peace in Europe without a secure and sovereign Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion reflects our shared priorities and responsibilities for Europe's future. I am deeply grateful to the President Pirc Musar for the open and constructive exchange, and I look forward to our continued close cooperation. Thank you.
Hvala, gospod predsednik. Sedaj pa je čas za vprašanja medijev. Najprej vprašanje za predsednika Litve. Prosim, da se predstavite in poveste vprašanje.
Jan Bratanič, Bloomberg News. I have two questions for President Nausëda, if I may. The first one is about interceptors for Ukraine. What can be done to get more Patriot missiles to Ukraine? President Zelensky has said that the stocks are running dramatically low. And the second question is on drone incursions. There were air raid alerts today in the Baltic region again. It's been also announced that Ukraine will send teams to help prevent those incursions. So when do you expect the teams to arrive, and what support will they offer?
As regards the first question, it's very important to keep and put additional efforts to support Ukraine, especially in this critical stage of the war. Yes, this is actually the matter of political will. There are different forms and instruments how we can support Ukraine, and I would name plural initiative. Czech initiative is still in place. There are some bilateral obligations, and my country tries to do its best by having the security guarantee we signed together with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Each year we will spend not less than 0.25% of our GDP for support of Ukraine. And we have to do this because we see that Ukraine is gaining momentum. Ukraine is making a lot of harm inside Russian territory. And the best examples you can follow and observe today. There's deep, long strikes against St. Petersburg, so welcoming the participants of economic conference there, warmly welcoming. And I think both instruments should be used. First of all, support to Ukraine, and on the other hand, continuing the sanctions policy which was implemented in the first days after the war broke out. And now we are considering the 21st package of sanctions. And I hope we will be able to to take the decisions on it too. Regarding the drone incursions, yes, unfortunately, this is becoming new normal in the region, not only in the Baltic countries, but also in Finland and Poland, because drones which are flying through trajectory through the Nordic ports of Russian Federation. Sometimes they are affected by the anti-drone equipment of Russian Federation and they lose control and they are entering the territory of Baltic states. For us, the main the country responsible that it is taking place, it's Russian Federation because they are flying because of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. And Ukraine has a right to defend itself and to defend its freedom. But on the other hand, of course, we have to take care and we have to strengthen our air defense systems because now we see that we have a lot of gaps, not only in detection capabilities, but also in the capabilities to destroy them. And we have to use this time in the best way in order to prepare our air defense system for such kind of incursions. I hope that together with our partners, and especially with Ukrainians, we will be able to do this. Quite recently, I have signed an agreement on drone co-production between Ukraine and Lithuania, and I hope that very soon we will be able to make use of this agreement, and Lithuanian defense industry is rapidly growing at the time.
Hvala. Še vprašanje za predsednico Republike Slovenije.
Dober dan, Luka Kreka, STA. Jaz bom tudi izkoristil priložnost za dve vprašanji in sicer prvo je povezano z vojno v Ukrajini. Skoraj eno leto je minilo od pogovora za politiko, v katerem ste dejali, da je bila mogoče napaka strani EU, da smo se nehali pogovarjati z Rusijo. Zdaj, kakšno je vaše mnenje danes in mislite, da nas trenutne razmere peljejo bliže ali mogoče nas celo oddaljujejo od diplomacije? Drugo vprašanje je pa glede širitve EU in sicer kako blizu smo realno v bistvu, da bi dobili vsaj eno novo članico Unije in bo pred tem mogoče potrebno tudi znotraj same Unije speljati določene spremembe. Hvala.
Hvala lepa. Najprej glede mojih izjav o tem, da se je z Rusijo potrebno pogovarjati. Jaz stališča nisem spremenila predvsem iz dveh razlogov. Namreč, brez agresorja, kar Rusija seveda je, se vojne ne bo dalo končati. Moj drug argument je, če Evropska unija ni prisotna pri pogajanjih za rešitev vojne med Rusijo in Ukrajino, potem to ne bo dobro za nas. Tisti, ki se pogajajo, se ne pogajajo v imenu in za račun Evropske unije, ampak v svojem imenu in za svoj račun. In to sta dva glavna argumenta, ki me napeljujeta k temu, da se bo Evropska unija vendarle morala potruditi in najti neko primerno osebo, ki bo lahko začela pogovore z rusko stranjo. Kar se tiče vašega drugega vprašanja, Slovenija že ves čas podpira pridružitveni proces za države Zahodnega Balkana. Trenutna situacija je takšna, da sta najbolje pripravljeni Črna Gora in Albanija. Včeraj sem poslušala zaslišanje novega zunanjega ministra. Želela bi si, da se čim prej srečava in se pogovoriva tudi o tem, kaj mora Evropska unija storiti, da bo ta širitveni proces hitrejši. Namreč imamo države v regiji, ki so že 20 let v čakalnici in niso odprle niti enega poglavja, to je recimo Severna Makedonija. Poskušala mu bom razložiti, zakaj je pomembna tako imenovana kvalificirana večina pri glasovanju. Tu bo potrebno sklepati kompromise. Ta projekt sta Evropski uniji predstavili najprej Nemčija in Slovenija, kasneje se je pridružila zelo hitro tudi Finska. Danes kvalificirano večino podpira že 15 držav članic, ampak potrebno bo najti kompromise in mislim, da je možen kompromis v smeri tega, da se bodo lahko poglavja, ki so potrebna za širitveni proces, odpirala s kvalificirano večino. Tudi s predsednikom Nausëdo pa sva se strinjala, da končna odločitev o tem, ali bo neka država vstopila v Evropsko unijo, mora biti dosežena s soglasjem vseh sedanjih držav članic. Prosim.
Hvala lepa.
Allow me to add something
Yes, please.
to my previous statement. It's very important in order to be credible to implement the decisions we have agreed on in the Hague NATO summit. And for us, it's critically important that those countries who promised to deliver and to spend at least 5% of GDP until the middle of next decade are really progressing and are gradually increasing its defense spending. Lithuania is trying to lead by example, and our country is probably the number one, or at least among the countries spending most on defense. Actually, in 2026, we will spend 5.4% of our GDP to defense, and we will keep this level of spending until 2030 and most likely beyond. This is not only the matter of proximity, and we have very real threats, and we have very long border with two hostile states, Belarus and Russian Federation. But this is also about our credibility, because it was our promise to deliver. And differently from some other allies, we don't split our defense spending into two parts, core spending and defense-related spending. For us, all the spending is a core spending, because we have to close our gaps in military capabilities, and we must do it as soon as possible. Time is running, and time is very precious asset right now. Thank you.
Hvala. S tem je novinarska konferenca končana. Hvala obema predsednikoma in hvala predstavnikom medijem. Želim vam lep preostanek dneva.
Hvala lepa vsem.